LiEat trilogy embodies a subset of RPGs that aren't visually complex, but present some rather complex narratives. Using unique gameplay systems and character writing, players can now play this charming set of games on the Nintendo Switch. Each of the LiEat games follows Theobald Leonhardt and Athena. The former is a con artist who looks after Athena and alters his appearance and the name in each location he visits, such as calling him Leo for the first game. He is masterful at deceiving others for his benefit, but despite his cold nature, it is clear that he greatly cares for Athena. Athena, on the other hand, is a young humanoid girl who is actually a dragon that can devour literal lies. Lies take the physical form around her, and confronting these manifestations of deceit is how the combat occurs. Theo accompanies her during these bouts, and fighting takes place in a turn-based system with skills, item, and normal attack, to which the difficulty is practically non-existent. There are legendary weapons that can be found across the games that utterly break any sense of potential challenge players might have. Once again, with the brevity of these games and the lack of difficulty they provide, these overpowered inclusions can seem more like Easter eggs than anything else. Each title is about an hour long. The lack of combat complexity is understandable, yet I question their meaning behind their inclusion at all. I felt that the stories being told here would have been far better just as a typical visual novel, but the combat doesn't necessarily ruin the experience. The UI is clean, and fights pass by painlessly. Each title tackles a central mystery of sorts that Theo and Athena attempt to unknot. There are some recurring characters to this adventure, but mostly we follow Theo and Athena and get to know them through various interactions. The conversations between these characters are where the games shine due to their brilliant personality packed in each line. While Theo is certainly the more relatable cynic of the two, Athena is a shining ray of optimism and acts as the player's proxy for the world surrounding her. She grows noticeably more mature throughout each entry, and that is arguably the linchpin of this collection's experience alongside Theo's past. There are fun moments of gameplay to be found in the small-scale environments and conversations with NPCs. The way these characters react to situations was in line with what I would expect from real people. The art style also enhances the experience. The sprites and illustrations are endearing, but not overly cutesy enough to negate the stern tone that accompanies the crux of the mysteries and character drama. I found the provided aspect ratio to take me out of the immersion a tad bit, and would have appreciated fuller screen options or perhaps another aspect ratio to the general. There are some bad ends present, particularly when losing against certain bosses. A few of these endings are stand out with how they flesh out the branching possibilities and differ from the main timeline. I highly recommend seeking out each of these endings, as they will undoubtedly cement a sturdier sense of impact. When completing a game, players get access to what I call the post-game room. These rooms contain neat bonuses such as character profiles and a music player. The music player is essentially worthwhile since it allows players to adjust the speed of the tracks themselves. The music, by the way, is one of the highlights of this adventure. During gameplay, lies are at the core of each story's conflict, and the way the concept is approached is undeniably unique. The first story confronts the subject of murder, while the second deals with the facts of memory, so there is definitely variety in theme, environment, and conflict in each of the titles. I found the lore present in this trilogy remotely compelling, and would have appreciated some deeper dives into it. For instance, Athena isn't the only dragon around. There are others you encounter. The world in general stuck out to me as I desired to learn more. Still, I also can't help but appreciate the brevity of these games since they did not overstay their welcome whatsoever and didn't needlessly pan out their lengths for playtime. The LiEat trilogy presents a light visual novel-esque adventure with a charming duo of protagonists through a whimsical narrative. While the questionable implementation of combat is puzzling and the collective 3-hour playtime for the entire trilogy can be understandably a turnoff, I find the characterization and soundtrack more than enough to give these games a try. Noisy Pixel is giving LiEat a 7.5 out of 10. Thank you for watching. Please read the full review at noisypixel.net. Noisy Pixel is run by a group of gamers who work hard to deliver news, reviews, previews, and more. Please subscribe to keep up with all our future content.
Noisy Pixel.